Thank you, Nancy Allsweet, for joining us today. So tell us more about what you do and where you're from.
I am working right now with a group called Better Housing for Long Beach that is trying very, very hard to protect the private property rights of the housing providers in Long Beach against a very serious ordinance that's been in place, and to protect the tenants, the renters who are being sieged with inspectors who want to break into their home. Now, who wants people going in looking through their cupboards in their underwear drawer?
No one.
No one does. No one does. So I see this organization, Better Housing for Long Beach, as a great opportunity to bring the entire community together. We have issues for renters. We have issues for housing providers. We have issues for veterans. We have issues for the homeless. And we are working very, very hard with all of our multi-ethnically diverse communities as well. We are going to be putting out some door knockers, and to show the commitment to these communities, we are going to have it translated into Spanish and Khmer and possibly Tagalog as
That's
well.
great. Now you're covering everybody.
We want to cover everybody because they're all at risk.
And now by door knockers, you mean the door hangers.
Door hangers, yes.
Perfect.
Yeah. I call them door knockers, but they're hangers, yes.
They look like it.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Okay. How long have you been doing this important work?
A very long time. I've been in the rental housing industry for about 30 years. I went into retirement a couple of years ago and thought that my world of rental housing chapter had closed. But when the PRIP ordinance, Proactive Housing Inspection Ordinance, passed in Long Beach, some of my landlord, property owner, housing provider friends came to me and said, Nancy, you can't believe what's going on. Would you please consider helping us? And even though I knew I was supposed to be in retirement, my passion for the industry just came forward. And I wanted very desperately to help my friends who were in a very big world of hurt with this inspection ordinance.
So this ordinance and your friends got you back into work.
Yes, they did. In fact, when I left as executive director of the Apartment Association, California Southern Cities, I had already put this whole inspection ordinance to bed.
Behind you.
And one of my friends reminded me of that at a meeting the other day. He said, Nancy, I so remember when I called you about this terrible inspection ordinance, and you said, Paul, don't worry about it because I've already got it taken care of behind closed doors, and we will have the votes to kill it. And we did. It didn't go forward until a year after I left. So it wasn't a year after, it was 3 years after I left.
So they're quite grateful to you for bringing back the passion behind this.
Well, I think so, and I'm very grateful to them for realizing what a horrible situation this is. Sometimes a lot of what you have to do when you're dealing with political issues is not only be sensitive to the politics, but you also have to educate. And I'm so glad that so many of these people had been educated over the years and could see the problem that was looming ahead of them.
And tell us more about how you educate them.
Well, when I was at the Apartment Association, I did a tremendous amount of education, putting on classes, giving classes. In fact, when the systematic code enforcement program in the city of Los Angeles passed, the city of LA came to me to write their education program and to offer it, which to this day is still being offered. So that was a very big part of it. Another very big part of it has to do with the press work. We've had a tremendous amount, and I'm very grateful for it, of response from the media to get our story out. We've had 3 front page articles in the Long Beach Business Journal. We've had a story in Apartment Age, which is a function of the Apartment Association Greater Los Angeles. We've had another story out in AOA's publication, that's Apartment Owners Association. They have all been very, very good to us. And today, after I leave here, I will be submitting the article that will go in the Apartment Journal. And that's the publication that I used to manage when I was the CEO at the Apartment Association. We also have had trade publications pick us up, and I've written some special articles for them. So all in all, I think we're doing a pretty good job of reaching out to the landlord community. And I would have to say that if there's a housing provider out there that doesn't know about our story, it certainly isn't our fault. And that's just from the press standpoint.
Right.
I am not particularly savvy when it comes to social media, but luckily on our action team, we have Vicki and Joni who are over the top great on this. And we have a change.org petition on. We have Facebook up. We have Twitter up. We have a website up. And hopefully all of the word of this is getting out to the people that need to protect themselves.
So these all have been very important publications. And in addition, you have social media put up as well to let everyone know. So there's really not anyone who can say, I don't have enough information about this.
Right.
Would you agree with
right.
that?
I would definitely agree with that. And the change.org petition is interesting as well. A lot of people of my generation don't know how to do this, but I'm going to tell you, I know you do, but for the people that are listening, you go to change.org and then you go to Better Housing for Long Beach. It'll pull you up on YouTube. It'll pull you up on a Facebook page. It will give you some of the very important information you need to analyze this. I think it's very sad when a property owner has put their life's work and time into building a strategy, either for their retirement or to put their kids in college, to be all of a sudden faced with these horrible fines and fees, and for God's sake, the possibility of going to jail for 6 months for a misdemeanor.
And to not expect it at all.
Oh, not expect at all. These are God-fearing people who grew up in the 60s, 70s, and 80s and knew that we did what we did, but we always followed the law. And now all of a sudden we're right in the midst of all that. And it certainly is a significant turn.
Now, you've had to do this from the ground up.
Yes.
And you've had people helping you. And tell us more about the people that have been instrumental and how that works.
The people that were instrumental in this, I didn't start it. Joni and Vicki and Elaine Hutchison started it. They had an action team that was coming together. And these were all people that I had worked with in the past. They were the ones that came to me and said, you know, you're pretty savvy when it comes to political strategy.
Yes, you are.
Would you help us? And I said, absolutely, I would help us. And I probably jumped in with both feet without even thinking about what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just so important. You know, affordable housing is a big issue in Southern California. And it doesn't seem that anything that we do or the politicians do creates enough affordable housing. So to be in a position where an ordinance can cause affordable housing to be torn down or damaged and create blighted neighborhoods, it's just very shocking to try and make that measure with what our needs are, particularly in Southern California. A lot of people don't realize that when rent control went in 1978 to the city of Los Angeles, there were something like 1.1 or 1.2 million affordable housing units. Okay, since that time, there are now less than 625,000.
That's a big difference.
It's a huge difference. And how does that operate when you look at the entire social milieu? It operates in this way. There are now 46,000 homeless people in the city of Los Angeles, the largest homeless population in the United States.
That's too many.
It's way too many, and a lot of these are people who would never have been there if they hadn't been caught in the grips of rent control or SCEP or REAP or these programs that all lead to very, very bad housing policy.
So you're actually holding them accountable for this.
Absolutely, they're accountable for it. And if we could get them on the other end of a lawsuit and win, I wouldn't be opposed to
You
that
wouldn't be
either.
upset.
I wouldn't be opposed to that either.
Well, thank you so much, Nancy. You've been so much of a resource and valuable asset to this organization. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you can share with us?
I just wanted to thank you very much for taking the time to do the interview.
We thank
and
you.
hopefully we'll get more information out to folks, and everybody will understand that this is a land grab and it takes away their private property rights.
Absolutely. Thanks
Thank
to
you so much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Nancy.
Thank
See you next
you.
time.
Thank you.